Darkness has finally come for your protagonist. Hey guys, it's Arabella and I am here to help you become an epic storyteller. So let's get into it. It was never supposed to be this way, Dragon. I was supposed to get everything that I wanted. I was supposed to avoid all my deep emotional wounds and try to skirt out in a way where I didn't have to deal with them. But now, this is the dark night of the soul beat. One of the most impactful, one of the most important, if not the most important beat of all. And I'm here to break it down for you. So hello, my loves, welcome back. I am so glad to have you. And this beat, I know I've been saying this from the beginning, and I told you that I would, that all of the beats are my favorite, but this one really is one of my favorite beats because it's so emotional, but it means so much because you watched all my other videos and you put in all the hard work to set your protagonist up for this moment. So if you remember back in the hook, I'm going to put it up here if you want to maybe revisit it, how we talked about the emotional wound of your protagonist and how it was super important that we establish it very first thing in your novel, because if we don't announce it and show it to the audience immediately, once the protagonist gets to the end and they have this realization about their wound and their misbelief, it's not going to matter to either the character or the audience because it was never brought up in the beginning. It was never something they were dealing with from moment one. So that's why the hook is so important and these misbeliefs that you craft are so important, because of this moment right here, the dark night of the soul. So let's backtrack a little bit and talk about what happens here. So in the beat before this one, go watch it. You haven't. You'd probably be super lost. In the beat before this one, the disaster happened. So the protagonist and their friends have been brought to their knees. They had believed that they have lost. And so this is the natural next step to that. This is the outcome. So they've just faced this ultimate disaster and they're like, oh my God, they can't do it anymore. And what I mean by that is externally the plot has blown up and internally they've lost it. They know that they can't put up with their own bullshit anymore. That what they wanted from the beginning, what the inciting incident promised them from the beginning, they're not gonna get. They could have gotten it at this point, but then they realized it wasn't satisfying. It wasn't giving them what they thought that it would. Either way is okay, it doesn't matter, but they need to realize that what they wanted is never going to be what's going to fulfill them completely. And they need to open their eyes to their misbelief and see that it's a lie, that they've been believing a lie, that they need something way more. And that's going to be the thing that gives them the change and gives them the peace inside. That is the dark night of the soul. That is the juicy meat of this beat. It is that point that they wake up and realize that they have been believing a lie their entire life. And it's been making them do a lot of awful shit and driving them to make a lot of awful decisions, but they see it now. The wool is pulled, the rose-colored glasses or whatever are taken off. They see, they're awakened, they get it. Finally, they fucking get it. And that's what's so great. It's the transformation. This is what your audience wants to see. It's this moment. It's not the upcoming climax that everybody thinks is the big moment. This is the moment. This is the moment of change. This is the moment of growing up, of the hero's journey coming to almost completion, because it doesn't matter if in the climax the protagonist wins or loses, because they've made the change. It is satisfying. Your audience will be satisfied regardless of what happens next. And if, let's say you don't do this and they don't realize it, and that change never happens, and they beat the antagonist anyway. That's going to leave them unsatisfied because that change was never made. It was never there. There was never really a point to it other than the external events, other than the protagonist being defeated. Okay, this is a really common mistake, focusing on this external reaction, this external conflict, where what audiences really want, even subconsciously, they might not know it, but they deep down want that change. Okay, and that is what this beat and this whole series has been about, is that big change. So you please don't skip this. This is so vital for you and your story and your character, and such a great place to insert theme, into insert, you know, those topics that are really difficult, and to really analyze human nature and people and how we think and grow, and how audiences and readerships and fans love that growth. Okay, that's really it. Doesn't need to be too crazy or complicated. It's the dark night of the soul, baby. You gotta really dig deep, get raw, as raw and emotional as you can. And hey, if you got value from this, I would love it if you would give this video a like, to know that, let me know that you're here, that you're watching. Comment down below, what is your character's big lie, big misbelief? I'd love to know how you guys are writing this, and I'd love for you to join my newsletter. I have an epic writer's block tool there, and of course some fiction of mine that you can't get anywhere else. And you know, that is it, you guys. The next beat following is the climax, so make sure that you ring the bell so you'll be able to get to it. All right, I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.